Today, I will be embarking on a 33-hour odyssey aboard Turkish Airlines from Incheon Airport in Seoul to Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport, going the wrong way around the world via Istanbul. Join me to discover what delights or disappointments await. In our last thrilling episode of Daring Do, the Contessa made the journey from Dongducheon, South Korea, north of Seoul, to Istanbul's new airport, flying on Turkish Airlines' somewhat dated yet still comfortable Boeing 777-300 business class product. And now, the adventure continues. Okay, well, we are here at Istanbul's new airport, and we have one hell of a walk to get anywhere. Well, you know me, Contessa loves to walk, so let's go see if we can find that lounge. I've been here before, not long ago, so I think I should be able to find it. Let's see if my internal GPS system works. This stunning piece of interior architecture was completed just in time for the pandemic to shut down travel, and only recently took over operations from the old Ataturk airport. It is massive, but cleverly designed to keep all services at a central hub. And so, whither we goeth. Yes, we could take the people mover, but that would not be the very Contessa way to do things, would it now? Besides, we've just been sitting for 11 plus hours, dear viewer. Time to get some blood flowing again. I love airports that provide you with the time it's going to take you to walk to your destination so that you don't give up and just lay down and die. Apparently transfers this way aren't as easy as they were when I came here the last time, so big international transfer line behind me, and unless I find a special business class or premium passenger line, I'm going to have to go wait in the line with Gen Pop. So let's see if we can find a way for me to circumvent that somehow. So indeed, I was right to assume that fast track referred to business class, because right behind me is the fast track lane. And as you can see, it looks a lot less dire. But let's see if it's actually faster, because I've actually gotten burned by this at Frankfurt before, where it took way longer to get through the single business class lane versus the 13 lanes that were open for Gen Pop. Well, let's see if I'm going to get burned here too. Yay, travel adventures, hashtag Contessa loves to travel. Right, so it seems that the fast track was indeed faster. In fact, as we stood there, they opened up a second line. Yes. And they checked my boarding pass not once but twice. Once to get into the line, and then once to actually go through the scanner. So they're dead serious about not letting people through who shouldn't get through. But it was quick, it was easy. I actually didn't get searched. Normally, my sewing stuff always gets searched. It looks terrible on an X-ray. Definitely looks like I'm trying to assemble some kind of bomb, but I'm not, and they didn't think I was this time. So let us go and find the lounge. Well, still following the signs for international departures, and it's been 1 to 2 minutes away for a very long time, so they have an interesting sense of geological time here, I guess, at Istanbul. Because there were no stairs, there was only an escalator or an elevator. The escalators come up there. I cheated and took the elevator, and it took me exactly 2 seconds versus however long it would have taken on the escalators. So here we are at Istanbul's kind of central atrium. Well, sort of. Anyway, I know the lounge is basically over there, so let's head that direction. The Turkish Airlines lounge is a study in elegance and warm, exotic colors, textures, and patterns. Leather, textiles, wood paneling, and of course, carefully wrought Turkish rugs. The Istanbul Turkish Airlines lounge recalls the splendor of Topkapi Palace and other spaces from a delightfully decorative past. Unlike, say, I don't know, the Asiana Business Lounge of Incheon Airport, which flagrantly ignores historic Korean styles in favor of, well, conference center unchic. In their origins, lounges are primarily meant for just that, sitting idly around waiting for Godot. I mean, your flight. In terms of seating options, it seems that every derrier's preferences have been accommodated here at the Turkish Airlines lounge. Comfy leather seats around posh traditional tea tables, warm restaurant seating with booth and chair options, more restaurant seating with marble top tables, designer workstation cubicles in leather, a variety of easy chairs set up to facilitate relaxed conversation, strange square chairs, lounge chairs for people with square butt prints, lovely leather napping chairs, although not nearly enough for the demand, and yes, actual conference rooms that look as though purloined from the Asiana Lounge. But that's okay, they're conference rooms for God's sake. So yes, lounging can be had. But the Turkish Airlines lounge offers so much more. Starting, of course, with food, the Contessa's favorite aspect of any experience. There are a variety of food pavilions that constitute the backbone of the facility, most of which serve traditional rustic Turkish fare that is prepared freshly by skilled cooks. A Turkish bagel and pita station, marinated grilled meats, various rice and bean dishes, a complete set of Turkish breads and condiments, and of course, meze of all types. Meze are basically delicious side dishes served as appetizers, but really, one can make a meal out of them. One's own personal buffet, as I often do, in fact. And here is the Contessa's chosen buffet, from left to right. Fava beans and Turkish eggplant moussaka, grilled lamb kofta and marinated chicken with bulgur pilaf, meze consisting of tomatoes and cucumbers, cheese and olives, braised broad beans, and kaçik, Turkey's answer to tzatziki. Don't even start the fight over who invented it first. And they even provide a packet of lemon juice and olive oil as a dressing, which I drizzle liberally on, well, everything. I mean, life is short. Why go easy on the sauce? So, no self-respecting meal in Turkey would be complete without a sweet ending. Okay, yeah, I hear it. Whatever. And so they have a separate buffet for traditional Turkish pastries, consisting mostly of semolina, phyllo dough, nuts, and sugar syrups. In addition to this diabetic's delights, they also offer a variety of freshly prepared mousses and puddings in the meze buffet area. So, if one has a sweet tooth, then this is the lounge for you. Or, okay, maybe not the lounge for you, actually. You should stay far, far away. After consuming all that food, one might need some sort of beverage to restore one's ability to create saliva for future meals, if one ever wishes to see food again, which I generally don't after these experiences. And Turkish Airlines has provided some lovely traditional options, including traditional chai from the samovar, and a proper Turkish coffee bar serving the mythical goat stimulant the way God intended, thick enough to chew. Other beverages of an obviously lesser caliber, such as the lowly water, are treated more as a necessary evil. They are served in un-Contessa-like bottles and cans from the refrigerator cases placed all over the lounge that recall a sketchy convenience store more than a sumptuous space. Yeah, I know. Hashtag Contessa World problems. Well, I have finished my meal and my derriere has lounged sufficiently, so let us explore other amenities. The Turkish Airlines lounge offers some interesting attractions, ranging from the utterly prosaic, such as showers, an ironing service, and complimentary luggage storage lockers, to, well, entertaining, such as this psychedelically Hades-like play area for children. Seriously, the stuff of nightmares. To the absolutely whimsical. Take this fantastically engaging model racetrack depicting Istanbul's sights, for instance. Although I'm pretty certain I've seen people actually driving this way in Istanbul, but without the safe racetrack. Anyway, in true inquisitive Contessa style, I poke into every corner to ensure that I do not miss out. And my feline curiosity is rewarded when I discover this virtual reality device hidden in an unmarked nook of the lounge, seemingly abandoned. It turns out it's a replica of a paraglider invented and built in the early 17th century by Hasarfen Ahmed Çelebi, who then launched himself from Galatea Tower and purportedly glided across the Bosporus. Of course, this fact is debated, but it's certainly the stuff of legend in Turkey. Anyway, this device allows people to strap in and feel as though they are flying over Istanbul, exploring its seminal sights from an angle no human ever gets to see in reality. Well, I basically want to do it again as soon as I dismount, but my participation has attracted other people, so no second ride for me. That being said, I do engage one of my fellow flyers in a conversation about the device and its history, which leads us into a 4-hour conversation about history, culture, world politics, philosophy, you know, all the light stuff. Small talk, really. While wandering around, I also discover this more centrally placed gallery of modern art. I assume aimed at those of a sardonic bent seeking comedic entertainment. Hashtag Contessa art snobbery. Hashtag modern art sucks. Anyway, by the time I've eaten, drinken, conversed, eaten again, and have sat in all of the spaces available, it's time to make my way to the gate. Right, so our lounge time is over. Lots of interesting things from there. Now onward to our flight, which is in Terminal B, which is apparently 13 and 19 minutes away. Not certain on what basis that estimate is made, but let's go Contessa walk our way there. I am once more cordially greeted when I board, but the salutation feels less warm than my previous flight. Still completely pleasant though. This is the seat awaiting me, slightly different from the last flight. Beautiful tulip motif, cute little pillow with a pretty pillowcase. Well, that was an amazing security process, and they had extra security steps for flights going to the US, including wiping down all of our bags for what I presume were explosives. So yeah, they expected people to go to gate very early to get through that process. Kind of unkindly, I waited until the very last minute to go through, but my timing was perfect because I literally got through all the paperwork checks, the security check, and it was time to board business class, so win for me. Of course, I must engage in the sacred ritual of unpacking and organizing myself for the next 11 hours of flight. And happily, there is plenty of storage room on this Boeing 777-300. More to come. While we pull back, taxi, and take off, I should mention that the onboard chef did in fact come around on this flight and take our orders. Here are the menus. Sorry, I somehow failed to capture that moment. Hashtag Contessa fail. So here is the toiletry kit. It actually says Versace Parfum on it. It's a decent looking kit, pretty sturdy feeling. It's pleather, of course. I can't believe it would be real leather. That would be a nice touch though. Turkish Airlines. So this is what we have on the inside. So we've got a scented mist, refreshing and scented mist that contains a lot of synthetic ingredients. This is a lip balm, which actually has some natural ingredients. That's nice. This is your usual chemistry set. So, well, and a plastic toothbrush, which is not super impressive. Footies, which actually might be reusable, but also made of petrochemicals. Pretty decent eye mask, actually, molded.
Dear passengers, please do not block the aisle.
Colgate and earplugs in their own little earplug case, but also plastic. Stickers to let them know what you want from them. All in all, it's an okay kit. I should note that, of course, it comes with an advertisement for Versace Eros, although it smells like cardboard. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not super impressive either. It's certainly branded, but I would prefer, again, more sustainability, more natural ingredients, supporting small businesses instead of major empires like Versace. In fact, I'm pretty certain that Versace donated this wholesale. So interestingly, this is also a Boeing 777-300, but it does have differences from the one that we took here. For instance, the footrest, it doesn't have an open bottom as the one on our last flight did. It has an open top ottoman here. It still has the do not sit sign, which people probably will presumably ignore here as well as they did on the last trip. The screen actually looks a little bigger and newer, so I think it's probably been retrofitted from when this was built. Another positive difference is actually the tray table, which is much easier to remove and also actually swivels out so that you can escape after you've started eating, which on my last flight, basically once you'd committed to food, you'd committed to food. And it was that way until you were done. We also have this much bigger storage space on the side of the chair with your various plugs and outlets and a lot more room to store one's things. As you can sort of see, yes, now you can see my phone and power cables and all the things. Another advantage of this 2-3-2 layout, aside from being open, pretty much every row gets 3 windows. 2, 3, and then my screen. And plenty of room for long-bodied people, which I am not. My feet don't even vaguely reach that ottoman. Hashtag cute petite Contessa. Other amenities include this cute little reading light right by your head. And this time the controller is actually pretty much a smartphone, which is much more sophisticated than the last one and certainly newer, less worn out. You can actually read what's on the buttons. Once we have reached cruising altitude, the ritual of dinner service commences with a sacred hot towel of wonder. Like the medieval Contessa that I am, I uncouthly use it to spot bathe in my seat. I can't help myself, really. I have no self-control. While I wait, my screen kindly informs me that this flight also offers free Wi-Fi for business class passengers. Not quite certain what free internet quotas are, but this is purely theoretical as I never managed to get it to connect. I order green tea as a pre-dinner beverage, and it is sadly tea sweepings rather than the whole leaf. Not very business class. Hashtag Contessa tea snobbery. But it comes with a porcelain bowl of warm nuts, the premium blend with no peanuts or cashews, so I guess that slightly compensates for the crappy tea. The service so far has been pretty excellent. They've all been referring to me by my name, Ms. Lawrence, which is very nice. I would say they're very on top of everything. Not quite as warm as the first flight, but definitely still friendly and very efficient. After we've had time to enjoy our nuts, yes, I hear it. They come by and lay the table with tablecloth, olive oil, spice blend, butter, and bread beanie. An atmospheric LED candle and utensils, unfortunately wrapped in a paper napkin, hashtag Contessa World Problems. Here are the Turkish meze on this flight, and they are different than the other flights, so I'm very glad I went with them. We've got a stuffed pepper and a beautiful looking hummus on grilled zucchini, a cute little packet of their spicy bulgur salad, and I believe that is the Turkish version of baba ganoush, whose name is escaping me. Anyway, it's smoked eggplant. It's delicious. And they served at the cart this beautiful cream of pepper soup. I wish I could have gotten the chef actually serving it up, but it was quite elegant. Oh dear. All accompanied by the 4D experience of turbulence. Makes a meal so much more memorable, mostly thanks to the stains. The meze and soup are indeed superior to those of the first leg of this journey, where no soup was offered. Well, here is the main course, sea bass en papillote. It's actually, I have to admit, it smells delicious and it's plated up really beautifully. I'm feeling better about this dish than the rubber tennis ball that I was served on the last flight. Let's dig in and find out if this is rubber or delicious rubber. Could go either way. So that sea bass en papillote was literally the best thing I think I've ever had on an airplane, and I've flown a lot of business class flights. It was tender, it was flavorful, it was perfectly cooked, came encompassed with these perfectly al dente veggie noodles and served over top of potatoes, and it all just melted together into a delightful packet. So if you are flying Turkish Airlines and they offer sea bass en papillote, forget anything else on the menu and get that. I repeat, even if you don't like fish, I think you'd like this dish, because the sea bass is a very meaty fish. It is not a fishy fish. Even my fish-hating condottiero would probably like it. Well, on to dessert. Even though I generally eschew refined sugar and grains, I could not resist trying the dessert platter on this flight. You know, in the name of science, to compare with the dessert platter from the first flight that was also in the name of science, somehow. Anyway. The real highlight of this dessert platter, I have to say, are the glazed apricots and the buffalo cream. Amazing. I wish I could have just had those and more of those. The pastries, they're okay, but they're really just sweet. They don't really have much in the way of flavor. Some orange blossom water or rose water could really help here. The thing that really stood out was this fruit cup. Oh my God. Perfectly ripe, perfect texture. How do they get such perfect fruit on a plane? I can't even get that in the store. Delicious micronutrients for the win. While the flight attendant makes up my bed for me with this wonderful bedding, let us go and explore the bathroom. Sorry about the turbulence and the trash left behind by someone. Like the Boeing 777 on the first leg, this bathroom features a sink basically large enough to bathe a baby in, along with designer lotions and soaps, an LED illuminated mirror that allows you to see all of your facial flaws, hashtag Contessa Insecurities. A fun fake window that could be extra fun for those who are utterly blitz, a padded seat that lowers for getting dressed or maybe for changing a baby, a full-length mirror for infinite Contessa effect, and vinyl flooring that imitates stone. Well, to bed with this Contessa, who is awoken by a stern flight attendant 30 minutes before landing after about 8 hours of sleep, which I suppose means that the seat and bedding must have been very comfortable indeed, or at least comfortable enough to allow me to pass out. So comfortable that I probably slept through initial attempts to rouse the princess on her blue pea. Anyway, so once again, dear viewer, I have failed to capture the pre-landing meal in any way, shape, or form. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. On the next Turkish Airlines flight, I will endeavor to throw myself on the bomb of the second meal served. Or hopefully it will not have a bomb-like effect, though. Well, the plane soon lands, and like geese to market, we are driven into the uncharmingly antique Dulles people movers and shuttled en masse to the main terminal to undergo the gauntlet of immigration. Well, it's always annoying to have to take those stupid little buses from Terminal D because apparently Dulles Airport can't finish what it started when it was built itself decades and decades ago. Anyway, global entry for the win, got through pretty much immediately. So my thoughts on the flight from Istanbul to Washington. The food was actually significantly better. The service was still good, but not quite, it was excellent, but still not quite as warm. And I kept having to ask them to bring me fresh drinks, whereas on the first flight, they just automatically refreshed. Honestly, I missed breakfast, the second meal, the before landing meal entirely. I was jet lagging like a fiend, so I was in deep, deep sleep. Sorry, no review on the food there. But overall, yeah, an excellent flight. Turkish Airlines is still one of my favorite airlines, even with the 232 format layout that everyone detests so much, but that I actually don't mind because it's big and open, the seats are wide. I will say though, the angle flat seat isn't that great. I'm feeling a little creaky and sore, and I don't think it's from the kickboxing workout I did whenever it was that I left Korea, because time travel, time zones, I don't know what day it is, I don't know what time it is. Maybe I am in the underworld like I intimated at the beginning of this trip. Anyway, I see the baggage claim has gone, so I shall close. Have you ever flown Turkish Airlines in any of the routings that I've taken, or lately otherwise? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, travel creative. Meow, meow.